legends are made, where college dreams take flight, and where the biggest names in sports collide. One man brings you the action, the insight, and the stories that matter. This is Sports Talk for Onslow County and beyond. You're locked in to Sports Talk with Chris Rayner, only on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Rayner. Co-host today, Robert Farley. Welcome, Robert.
Welcome.
Did you
Good
survive snowpocalypse?
I did.
Man, that stuff stayed around a while.
It has, and it snowed last night in my house a little bit.
There was. I saw some reports around Onslow County, Richlands area, especially had some snow.
I think the only people that like snow is the women and the kids.
I don't know. We had some fun.
I don't like it.
We hooked the hydro slide up to the golf cart with the tow rope.
Of course you did.
Had a little fun.
Of course you did.
My knee don't bend like it used to, though, so I couldn't get on that thing anymore. Had the tube behind the golf cart. Just had a good time. We don't get it often, so when we get it, you enjoy it.
Well, we had some last year, remember? About
We
the same
did.
time.
This was a little more, though.
Oh, it was a lot more.
A little more, and it was powdery. Not the best snow for playing in to start with because it doesn't slide as good, but after it manicured a little bit, it was better.
I think Hollywood got more snow than we did.
He did. The Morehead City area got bombed.
15 inches.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
We were probably around 10 or 12.
Yeah.
But
it's a
they
weird
got the
storm.
big
It came
place
from
there.
off the ocean.
Well, that's the way we get our biggest ones here.
Yeah.
I remember back in, we're going to teleport back in time to 1980. Our guest Mike Eruzione will be calling in a little bit to do an interview over the phone. He is in Winthrop, Massachusetts, so he couldn't just get in the car and drive over here to the studio.
You couldn't budget
today.
a plane ride for him?
I'd have to talk to Ashley about that. Plane ride, hotel. I'm sure he'd want to stay on the beach and all that.
Oh, yeah.
He'd fly down here from Winthrop, coming in Monday or Tuesday, and be like, "Man, I just left this crap up there. The snow and stuff." So, a different kind of area down here. We just don't get it that often.
No.
There's no use to go out and buy. And people that freak out and say, "Well, why don't we just buy the stuff and clear it and be done with it?" We don't need it that often. I mean, it's like people in Massachusetts don't go buy hurricane shutters, because they don't have one very often, or winds like that. So we're going to get started here. We do want to, as soon as we're waiting for his time to call in. I'm sure he's a busy guy right now. The Olympics start today.
Yep.
The actual opening ceremonies, some of the games started yesterday.
Last night, yeah.
The ladies hockey team, United States hockey team, won 5-1.
Okay.
First round, so they're off to a rousing start. The men's hockey teams won't start till next Thursday, or this coming Thursday, which will be February 12th, because all the NHL guys, in the pro leagues, around the world had to leave their teams, and they'll be together about a week. So not a lot of time to gel.
No.
So it's going to be interesting. Hockey won't start, men's hockey, like I said, till
I just wish
February
they'd go
12th.
back to where it was all amateurs. I'm not a fan of this.
That's true, and we're going to touch bases with that with our guest when he calls in. Mike Eruzione and the USA team were all students, all college players, but they were playing the Soviet team, which were basically professional athletes. It was listed that they were students or soldiers, in the Army. So, I mean, that's all they did, though. They played hockey. They didn't do a lot of, I don't think they did a lot of classwork and stuff like that. They were basically,
Probably not.
Professional hockey teams. Had stayed together for years. They actually won 4 gold medals the 4 Olympics before 1980. Then the United States, of course, won the gold medal in 80. But then the Soviets, it's not like they were at the decline because they won the next 3.
You know how many gold medals U.S. hockey has won?
2, I think.
2.
That I know of.
1960 and 1980.
Yeah, Squaw Valley, California,
Yep.
In 1960. And it's so interesting. Everybody's seen the movies and the stories. The coach of the Team USA team, Herb Brooks, was the last guy to get cut on the 1960 team.
And our women's hockey team has won 2 as well.
Yeah, but that's been a little newer. There's not been as many. They
How
haven't
many
won the last 2, though.
How many silver medals does the U.S. hockey team have?
It was like 6 or 8.
8?
Yeah.
I looked it up.
You've done your homework.
I did.
I knew they had won several, silver medals, but the actual gold the last time, of course, was 1980.
How many bronze?
I don't know, 3 or 4.
1.
1 bronze. We don't settle for
1936.
third place. It's so weird the way they do the I look back at the 1980 brackets, and the way they did the brackets was that they go by pool play, so it's kind of hard to figure which team. The Soviets ended up being the silver medal team, even though the team we played, Finland, in the gold medal game was Finland, you know?
Yep.
So anyway, it's kind of weird. But before we get started and our caller calls in, let's go ahead and thank our fine sponsors here on Sports Talk. We have a new sponsor, PRQ Exteriors, roofing you can trust. PRQ is just come on board with us. They're local. They're a top-rated roofing company serving Jacksonville and Onslow County, known for expert roof inspections and quality roof replacement. They specialize in storm recovery, insurance claims, and hassle-free roofing solutions, making a stressful situation simple and straightforward. There's nothing like having to get your roof put on. Hollywood?
And Austin Wright with PRQ. Austin Wright is the owner there, one of the owners. And I tell you what, Cardinal fan through and through, huge supporter of Cardinal football and athletics here in Onslow County. And man, we're just glad to have them on board, have those folks on board the Sports Talk team and the radio station. So thanks,
yeah.
Austin. Yep.
Yep, great group there. They're located at 1911 Gum Ranch Road here in Jacksonville. You can call 910-468-1674 to schedule your inspection today. That's 910-469-1674. PRQ Exteriors, roofing done right here at home. Nice little slogan there. Yeah, I'm glad to have them on board. We'll talk more about them as the coming weeks come on. We always love new sponsors to spotlight them a little more. All our other sponsors here on Sports Talk, of course, Golden Corral and Billy Sewell, National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Harry Brown, Ryan, Robbie Yates, Chris Hines, and Quentin. Fountain Management, Lisa and Sandra Fountain, Lisa Thornton and Sandra Fountain. Southern Touch Painting, Roger Carroll. And another newer sponsor we have is All About Floors, Ron Prince, of course.
Okay.
They do a great job with your flooring needs. Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, that's Jason Humphrey in the gang. Express Printing, Myron Cross. Onslow County Motor Company, Ben Beasley in the gang. Bartley Insurance Services, Bill Mercer. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning. Jones Onslow EMC. Jones LP Gas there in Verona. Today is Friday, cylinder refill day, $11. Get ready for the big game this weekend, the Super Bowl this weekend. Mm-hmm. We'll talk a little bit about that probably later too. Lane Associates Family Dentistry, thank you to them. They are the official dentist of the Carolina Hurricanes too. Special thanks to Helen's Kitchen and Billy Grissett for keeping our Sports Talk crew well fed. He'll be coming in here about 10 with, today we're doing BLTs and burgers again. One of my favorites.
Absolutely.
I like to mix them up and make the big BLT burger. You can listen, watch, and connect. You can visit our YouTube and Facebook pages and catch up on today's show and years of archived Sports Talk episodes. Hollywood has streamlined our website and made it to where you can call in now and or go into the website and spider everything off of that. You go to all the other social media platforms from there. And if you missed the show, you can find full episodes and highlights on YouTube. Just search WSME Radio there on YouTube. Our studio Sports Talk hotline is 910-346-2248, but that's going to be tied up here shortly with our guests calling in. And connect now at WSME971.com. That's the best way to get us, the website. So that's it. We'll get started here. What do you think about some of the stuff going on leading up to Super Bowl weekend? You can watch the big game this weekend, or you can be too busy?
You talking about Duke Carolina on Saturday or the Super Bowl?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff. It's a big weekend.
It is.
I don't remember Duke and Carolina being on Super Bowl weekend. It seems like it's always the week after.
Either. I don't remember it either.
I don't either, but that makes it a bigger weekend. You got Saturday night. What's the game? 6:30.
6:30. Yep.
And who's the Wolfpack got tomorrow?
We got Virginia Tech Hokies at home, and there's about 400 tickets left. So
really,
we had a big win this week. Beat SMU on the road. Great game.
I might check with my son and see.
I
if he
stayed
wants
up
to go.
and watched it the late Tuesday night.
And the Wolfpack's playing well.
Doing really well. We're in tied for third, and we're 17-6 overall. Pretty good with a brand new coach and a bunch of new players. So I hope we keep it rolling.
I know at the start of the season, some of the expectations were really high with the new coach. And I think some people were disappointed with the start of the season, but sometimes that new coach, it takes a little while to get things rolling, and he's got them doing pretty good now.
He does. I mean, we lost a couple games in Maui, and everybody had predicted we were going to win it, and everybody blew their mind. But, we played Kansas, lost by 1 in overtime at home. That game was a heck of a game. And so we've only had one bad loss. That was Georgia Tech at home about 3 weeks ago, and then we won 5 in a row. So
I remember Coach was not happy after that. I remember his press conference.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty – we played terrible, couldn't hit a free throw, but it's basketball.
What time's that game tomorrow there at
we play at
Villanova?
noon. play at noon.
Okay, so that'd be a great one to see, and you still have time to get back home.
Absolutely,
for
you do.
the big matchup in the evening between Duke and Carolina. Both Duke and Carolina playing well.
Yep. Well, that should be a good one. They always, you never know what they're, both of them are ranked, so you just never know. I hope I'm pulling for Duke because I don't want them to burn Franklin Street down. If Carolina wins, I'm
at
looking
Carolina,
out for the
so that's always fun to see that sprint to Franklin Street.
Yeah.
We're going to take our first break a little early today. I'm trying to get the estimated time to line up our caller in. So take our first break. We'll be right back on Sports Talk.
Rick D's and the Daily D's. Weekday mornings from 6 till 11 with the biggest hits of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and Carolina beach music for Onslow County and beyond on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Well, hi, this is Rick D's.
I know you are, but what am I?
All right, the Weekly Top 40 is what we are, happening here this weekend. Don't forget the Weekly Top 40 Challenge. I want you to win this great Super VHS video recording system and 2 crisp new $100 bills this weekend. Oh, yeah. Woo. Look out for Patrick Swayze, the heartthrob, here, live in the studio this weekend, plus the 40 most sizzling hits all over the USA. We'll see you for the Weekly Top 40 here this weekend.
You can check out the 80s edition of the Weekly Top 40 Sunday night 6 to 10 here on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement, parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
Pro Image Promotional Solutions in Jacksonville. A one-stop for your custom tees, sweats, hooded sweats, caps, and outerwear. Pro Image will design uniquely for you. Pro Image will do screen prints, digitize, and embroider right on site at their location in Jacksonville at 51 Plaza Drive B, just behind the Pizza Hut on Gum Branch Road. Pro Image Promotional Solutions, specializing in helping schools, businesses, church groups, civic organizations, and recreation sports teams with uniforms and their team gear. See Mark Houston for ideas on how to make your personal business wear look professional and appealing. For more information, visit proimagenc.com. That's proimagenc.com or call 910-347-0004. Again, that's 910-347-0004. Pro Image Promotional Solutions, just behind the Pizza Hut on Gum Branch Road, Jacksonville.
Golden Corral, the only one for everyone. Enjoy all your favorites at Golden Corral, featuring their famous buffet with all-you-can-eat steak, ribs, and ham carved nightly. Plus, comfort food classics like meatloaf, pot roast, Bourbon Street chicken, fried and baked fish, and Salisbury steak, with over 20 proteins served daily. Save room for limitless desserts, including chocolate and carrot cake, banana pudding, cobblers, cheesecake, plus ice cream and icy flavors when you're craving something sweet. And remember, Golden Corral offers drive-thru, catering, and takeout for every Golden Corral guest's convenience. Call 910-455-3773 or visit goldencorral.com. The breakfast buffet starts at 7:30 a.m., brunch at 10, and dinner begins at 4. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone. North Marine Boulevard in Jacksonville and Greenville Boulevard in Greenville.
Make your home shine with beautiful new floors from All About Floors. Come see Ron Prince at 341 Center Street in Jacksonville or call 910-376-2910 for all your residential and commercial flooring needs. At All About Floors, they specialize in bathroom remodels, ceramic and porcelain tile, LVP, and laminate flooring, plus carpet and hardwood for every room in your home, now and in the year ahead. All About Floors, 341 Center Street in Jacksonville. Call Ron Prince today at 910-376-2910.
If your electric bill is abnormally high, the heat strips in your heating system may be activated. Heat strips are designed to work when it's extremely cold, requiring more energy and money to operate. Don't raise your thermostat more than 2 degrees at a time or the system will go into auxiliary mode, activating the heat strips. If your heat pump is operating in this mode without due cause, it may be malfunctioning. Contact a licensed HVAC professional to have it serviced immediately. For more information and energy-saving tips, visit joemc.com.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cash back app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and you can get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SUPPLY to get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SUPPLY to get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank. That's code SUPPLY for up to a $5 cashback bonus.
Sports Talk with Chris Rayner, right here on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Rayner, co-host Robert Farley today. We have our caller on the line. This is Mike Eruzione from the 1980 USA Olympic hockey team, the captain of the team. Good morning, Mike, and welcome to Sports Talk.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good. We experienced the snow and stuff that you guys get all the time up there. It doesn't happen here often, but we had that happen this past week. How are things in Winthrop, Massachusetts today?
They're very, very, very cold. It's supposed to be cold all weekend, and Sunday's supposed to be the coldest day we've had, they say, in quite a while. So I'll be in hockey rinks and my house all weekend.
Hey, Mike, what's cold to you?
What's cold to me now at my age? 30.
30?
Well, there's an old running joke down here in coastal North Carolina. I play golf in the 70s. If it's any colder than that, I just don't go.
Oh, yeah. No, 30's cold for me, but when I'm in a hockey rink, 30's not too bad. 30 outside is cold, but in the rink, 30's kind of comfortable.
Well, I was just talking with you on the phone before we got you on the air, and you made the mistake of telling me you're open-ended and have nothing going on for the next little while, so we may be here a while. This is one of the things that growing up, I was 12 years old when you guys did what you did in 1980, and it has such a big impact on me. I didn't know hardly anything about hockey before then, but, man, I was hooked after that. We're big Hurricanes fans here now. You know, of course, they started up in Hartford, or the Whalers, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that got us in hockey, me, my dad, my son, and, you know, of course, my son wasn't around, but we got him in it. What was it like for you growing up with hockey? Was it always part of your life?
Oh, no, not at all. It was something in the wintertime. I was a baseball player, and I was a baseball football player. I was an all-state football, hockey, baseball player. Those are the three sports I played.
Wow.
I kind of made hockey. I wanted to play all three sports in college, but found out that I couldn't play all three. I ended up just playing hockey and baseball. But, you know, hockey was something, like I said, in my hometown, they used to freeze the tennis courts down the street from where I lived, and my friends would go down and skate, and I'd go down because they were down, and ended up, you know, taking up hockey, and ended up being the sport that I didn't decide until probably I was a senior in high school. Thought that hockey might be the route that I was going to take, and ended up going to prep school for 1 year as a postgraduate at a place called Berwick Academy, wanting to go to the University of New Hampshire. And I thought if I went to UNH, I could play football, hockey, and baseball. And turns out the hockey coach didn't kind of think I was a Division I hockey player, so I had no school to go to. I had all my eggs in one basket. And the only school that recruited me for hockey was a school called Merrimack College, and they were Division III school at the time. So I accepted the scholarship to go to Merrimack College. And in the summer, I played baseball. And I got a call from a friend. They had a summer league game in hockey. Do you want to play? And I said, you need a player? I'll play. So I played in the game. As it turned out, the guy refereeing the game was this guy named Jack Parker. I didn't know who Jack Parker was. And after the game was over, he came over to me and he asked me where I was going to college. And I told him I was going to Merrimack. And he said, we had a kid from Canada decided not to come. Would you like to come to Boston University? He said, I'm the assistant coach at Boston University. And Boston University at that time was coming off back-to-back national championships and probably one of the best programs in college hockey.
Still is.
I said to him, yeah, I'd like to come there. I said, but it has to be a full scholarship. My dad can't afford. It was $3,300 was room, board, and tuition back in 1973. And he says, no, it's a full scholarship. So I went home and I talked to my father, and my dad said, what are you going to do? I said, Dad, I can play there. I'm going to go there. So I got up the next morning, got in my car, drove over to Boston University, and told Jack Parker I was going to come to Boston University.
Well, that's all. That's awesome, man. What was the? Go ahead. Sorry.
It gets even a little better because Jack Parker was the assistant coach, and a guy named Leon Abbott was the head coach. And Leon was a good guy, but I wasn't one of his players. So I tried out for the team, and I made the varsity. And I was on the fourth line, and I was playing a little, but not a lot. But I was playing. Well, Leon Abbott got fired just before Christmas. Apparently, they found some recruiting violations, and the university decided to dismiss him. And Jack Parker became the head coach. So I went from centering the fourth line to playing left wing on the second line, and as a freshman, I led our team in goal scoring. So that's how I ended up making hockey the choice to play.
Well, and a little earlier in life, on the Netflix special, which, what is it called? Miracle, the Boys of 80 is out right now. Great special to watch. Everything in that, was that all pretty accurate? I remember your story telling about growing up in the house with 3 different families. It's all your family, but 3 individual, centralized families in the same house. And you had an uncle that really helped you get started in hockey with the camp and everything.
Yeah, that was a true story. And if I when I'm done with this interview, if I go out in my backyard and I look to the left, I see the 3-family house that I grew up in.
Wow.
I'm only two houses from there, but yeah, it was kind of crazy. My mother's brother married my father's sister, and they lived upstairs. And my dad's other sister lived on the first floor. And there were 14 kids in the house that we grew up in between, my cousins upstairs and my cousins downstairs. And sports was a very much part of our life growing up. We didn't have a lot of money. My dad worked 3 jobs. My mother stayed home and took care of 6 kids. So I wanted to go to a hockey school. I was 12 years old. They had a hockey school not far from here, and it cost $75. And my parents didn't have $75 to spend on a hockey school. They needed $75 to feed us. So my Uncle Tony, who lived upstairs, he was a businessman, and he did extremely well in those days. And he wasn't a millionaire, but he made a good living. And I went up and I asked him if I could borrow $75 to go to this hockey school, and he said sure. So he lent me the $75, and I went to the hockey school. And during that period of time, there was a ton of snow. We had a bunch of snowstorms, and I went out and I shoveled houses and made $75. And I went back and gave it to my Uncle Tony. I said, here's the money that you gave me for the hockey school. And he gave me the money back. He said, now you learned a valuable lesson about paying your debts.
And that's one of the many stories in that Netflix special. It's a really good special. People get a chance. We'll plug it again later in the show to make sure people watch it. Growing up, I talked with you on the phone a few minutes before we came on the air. Southern families and Italian families are very similar because of the family unit and staying together. I have family all around my house. We have a little family compound we all live on. Same thing with you guys. I mean, you grew up in that house with all that family. You never had a problem with pickup games, did you?
Oh, no. It was 24/7. You would play in the backyard or the side yard, stickball, half ball, wiffle balls, street hockey, whatever. You name a game, we played it. And your parents, my mom would yell out the window, come on up for lunch, come on up for dinner. And I thought everybody lived in a 3-family house. But, it's another crazy story, and I don't know if I said this, I don't think I said this in the Netflix special, but, as we grew up in that house, all the kids that grew up in that house, they ended up having kids. And the high school baseball team, my youngest son is 38 years old now. He's a firefighter here at Logan Airport in Boston. But his senior year in high school, the high school baseball team, the first 7 batters were relatives.
Wow.
My brother's son, my cousin's son, my other cousin's son, my sister's son, my niece's son. I said to my brother, now you know why everybody hates us.
You had your own team.
That's how we grew up.
Well, for folks just joining us, we have Mike Eruzione, the captain of the Team USA 1980 Olympic hockey team, the last U.S. team to win gold medal. We're going to transport you back to the summer before that, Colorado Springs. Isn't that where they had the tryouts?
Yeah. They used to have a thing then called the Olympic Festival.
Right.
And that was the tryouts for hockey was that year in Colorado Springs.
What was your thought process going in? Did you think you had a chance to make the team? Were you confident about making the team? What were the percentages you thought of making the team?
Well, I thought my percentages were pretty good. I had a chance to play in the '76 team, and decided to stay in college that year because I thought that was the year we were going to win the national championship at Boston University, and we ended up losing and didn't win it. So when it came about for the opportunity the second time, and I had a chance to try out, I said I'm going to jump at it. And I went to Colorado Springs. I actually didn't even play on the team New England. I played on what was called the Great Lakes team, which was a bunch of guys from Michigan, Minnesota, a couple of guys from Boston. But I went to the festival. I always had confidence. I had a pretty good college hockey career. I guess my concern going in was, in those days, if it was a Western coach, there were a lot more Western players, and Eastern coach, Eastern players. So I worried a little bit about maybe, a lot of the Western kids would get a better look than I did. But as it turned out, the team I played on won the gold medal at the festival. I was the voted captain of that team, and I led our team in scoring. And I thought, he's got to give me a chance to be on this team. And I was selected as one of the 26 players. People probably don't know 26 players made up the 80 Olympic team, but only 20 were going to go to Lake Placid.
Right.
We're going to see Olympic Games this month coming up very shortly in Milan. And the U.S. probably carries 26 players, but in those days you only carried 20. And eventually, through the 6 months of training leading up to the Olympic Games, I was one of the final 20. 6 guys got cut. I wasn't one of them. So, but I was to answer the question. I was confident. I was always confident in my abilities. If you're not confident, why are you even playing? So
that's right.
I believed in myself and what I needed to do, and show to the coach that I had the abilities to play at that level.
And in hearing about your playing style back then, I don't think you ever went in a game thinking you guys couldn't win.
No, well, if you think you're going to lose, you probably will.
Yeah.
So I think you go in cautious, concerned, nervous, anxious. I think you run all the gamut of emotions, whether it was in high school or whether it was in college. You play a big game, you're excited about it. You embrace the opportunity. If you're afraid, you're in trouble. And as I said earlier, if you think you're going to lose, why play the game? Let's play the game and let's find out at the end.
Well, you made that comment a minute ago about 26 players to start, and then you had to get down to 20 before you went to the Olympics. Tell everybody about the tie-in with Coach Brooks. And before we talk about that, did you guys always call him Herb?
Yes.
What was the most coaches, you call Coach Brooks or whatever. Why was that? Was it just because he was so disconnected, or did he tell you guys to call him Herb? Is that what he requested?
No, we had 9 guys on the team that played under him at the University of New Hampshire. At the University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
So there were 9 players on the team that played under Herb, and they called him Herb. So I guess when you're on the team and you're on the ice and players that played under him are calling him Herb, you called him Herb.
Yeah, just became a habit, I guess.
Yeah, that's just the way it was. When I was at Boston University, Coach Parker was Coach Parker, but he was never Jack. He was always Coach Parker.
Right.
But Herb was Herb, and he was demanding. He was hard. He was challenging. But I tell people all the time, and if there are any coaches out there listening, if your players don't respect you, you're in trouble, and if your players don't trust you, you're in trouble. So as hard and as demanding as Herb was, we respected him and we trusted him. I always tell people, Herb was like your dad. You love your dad, but sometimes you hate your dad because he makes you do things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
That was Herb. Every day it was a challenge. But that was Jack Parker at BU. That's how coaches coached in the 70s. You can't coach that way today. Don't yell at Johnny.
No, you'd be fired in 10 minutes.
Oh, my God, he's going to tell Mom and Dad, and you're going to be in big trouble. If a coach yelled at me and I told my father would yell back at me.
Well, and talking about Coach Brooks, did you know his reputation coming in? Obviously, you guys had played probably Minnesota before, I guess, in the tournament. Minnesota had a couple of national championships in the years before the Olympics. Did you know his reputation coming in?
Absolutely, because my junior year, I talked to you about winning the national championship. We lost in the semifinals in the Frozen Four to the University of Minnesota. 4 minutes into the game, we had a bench clearing brawl. Police came out on the ice. It was as wild as it could. Both teams should have been thrown out of the tournament. And as it turned out, we ended up losing our best player. They lost the player. They beat us 3-2. They won the national championship. They won the next day. 2 years later at the Olympic Festival, not the one from 1980, for the tryout for the team. It was the 75 Olympic Festival. In the warm-ups, Team Massachusetts and Team Minnesota had a bench-clearing brawl. So the rivalry between the two states was very intense, and the two programs, the University of Minnesota and Boston University, were very intense. And we understood what Herb Brooks was like as a coach going in. We knew how intense he was. We knew his MO, so to speak, as a coach. But he's the coach, and that's the way it's going to be.
When you see the Disney movie Herbie the Love Bug, does the term Herbie just about break you down when you hear about it, doing all those Herbies over the years? Tell everybody what Herbies were.
I never saw the Love Bug movie. Sorry.
Well, tell everybody what Herbies are.
Well, Herbie's a suicide or a gasser. You played football, you ran those lines after practice. You played basketball, you ran the lines, from the front court to the key, back to the court, to half court, then back, then three-quarter court and back, and all the way down and back. In football, you ran those suicides after practice, and Herbie was a conditioning drill or a punishment drill, whichever way you want to look at it. And Herbie was you'd skate from, you start at the boards, you'd go to the blue line back to where you started, then you'd skate to the red line, go back to where you started. Then you'd go to the far blue line, go back to where you started, then you'd skate all the way down the boards and come back. And, you did 5 or 6 of those. You were pretty tired, and there were times where we'd do them for an hour after practice, 45 minutes after practice.
And after a game one time.
Well, we did it after the game against Norway. We did it for an hour and a half. They shut the lights off in the building, and we finally finished the drill. And Herb brought us in the locker room, and he said, "If you play this way again tomorrow you're going to skate again." Well, we won 8-0 the next day.
So it was an attention getter.
The message was understood. But I will tell you this: we did Herbies quite a bit during the season in practice, not to the extent that we did in Norway. But at the end of practice, we always did a few Herbies. And my teammates have said for years the best shape and condition they were ever in was the 6 months that we played under Herb. And I know I'm not talking to a ton of hockey fans, but I'll tell you one statistic. In 1980, during the Winter Olympics, in the third period of the game, we outscored our opponent 16-3. That is an incredible number. And I think that was because of our conditioning, because of our speed, we wore teams down and took control in the third period.
And came on at the end. And a lot of the games you guys had fallen behind, especially the medal round. So that stamina at the end is what really put you guys through, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the Sweden didn't score in the third. Czechoslovakia didn't score in the third. The Soviets didn't score in the third. And Finland didn't score in the third. 4 countries that were supposed to beat us, 4 countries that were leading, and we came back and just dominated those games. And again, you look back on it now, it was a long time ago, but I don't think about the games that often. I've only seen the Soviet game twice, and I think the last time I saw it was probably 25 years ago. But I remember what it was like and the type of team that I played on.
Well, we were talking about Coach Brooks, and if you had to pare it down from 26 players down to 20, that last one was Ralph Cox. And if anybody understood what Ralph Cox went through, it had to be Coach Brooks, correct?
Yeah, Herb was the last player cut on the 1960 team that won the last gold medal before, until we won it. So
right.
It was very hard for Herb to cut Ralph. I mean, Ralph was my roommate all year. I've known Ralph. Ralph and I played against each other in high school. Ralph and I played against each other in college. He played at the University of New Hampshire, and I played at Boston University. So Ralph and I roomed together, and it was hard on all of us to see Ralph go. And we understood, somebody had to go, and it turned out to be Ralph. Actually, it's funny we're talking. I talked to Ralph yesterday because he might be coming up to Boston this weekend. I may try to get together and have a beer with him. He lives in North Carolina, I think, right now.
Really? Well, we may have to, sometime if you ever want to come down and visit him, we may have to get together, and I'll buy both of you guys a beer.
Yeah, I'm not sure what town he lives in, but he's been down there for quite a few years. But he said he might be he might be moving back to Boston, which he comes back to sometimes in the summer. But he really likes it down there. He says it's really laid back.
Oh yeah, well that's one of our hallmarks down here. It's probably all the winter weather we've had in the last couple of weeks. He's ready. He figures he's got to have it anyway. Go ahead and move back to Boston.
Right. That's funny.
We're gonna start hitting the Olympics now. You start out with a 2-2 tie against Sweden. The goal that was scored to tie the game was in the last minute, correct?
Billy Baker scored with 29 seconds left to go to tie Sweden. It was probably the biggest goal of the Olympics, because if we lose to Sweden, who knows if we would have got to the medal round.
Well, I went back and crunched the numbers after you guys ended up winning the games you won, and it looks like you'd have been second place behind Sweden, would have made it, but it probably would have made the pairings a little different. So who knows how that would have shook it up. But you're right, if you don't tie Sweden, may not make it. Now, after the tie with Sweden, the next game was at Czechoslovakia?
Yeah, and that was the only team, that people thought could beat the Soviets. And we blew them out. We were losing 1-0. I scored to make it 1-1. And then after that, we just totally dominated the game. I think that's when people started to talk about the U.S. hockey team. I think that's when people thought maybe this team has a chance to do something. And, for us, it was a great win. But I say this all the time living in Boston. I don't want to sound like Bill Belichick, but Kurt Brooks we were on to Norway. And after we beat Norway, it was, okay, now we're on to Romania. And after we beat them, we're on to West Germany. So we really took it one game at a time.
Yeah, but the momentum kept building until you made the medal round. The medal round, of course, a lot of people think it's the gold medal game. People that don't really weren't really in tune with and studied the process. But the game against the Soviets was actually the semifinals, and you guys had played the Soviets. Herb, was that brilliance on Coach Brooks' part to schedule the Soviet game right before the Olympics, where you guys, for lack of a better term, just didn't show up, and it was a tough loss for y'all.
Well, we lost 10-3.
Yeah.
We got crushed. It was interesting. We were losing 6-0 after the first period, and then for 2 periods played even with them. So, I think it was a wake-up call for us to a degree, but it was also the last game of a 60-some-odd grinding season. And, Ralph had just got cut, and Jack Hughes had just got cut before, so we were kind of relieved that we knew now this was the final team. And I don't know if our mindset was quite where it should have been that day. I think we had 1 foot in the locker room and 1 foot in Lake Placid.
Yeah.
But it was a wake-up call, and it was a great wake-up call. But, I talk about Herb as a coach. That game was never talked about again. He never brought it up one time. Even when we were getting ready to play him the second time, he never once said, remember the last time he played him? He never even talked about it. So, again, he just was a great motivator and knew how to prepare us.
Well, I was watching one of the specials, and you guys, the Czechoslovakian game, the second game, you kicked their butts, and late in the game, there's a cheap shot against, I think it's Mark Johnson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cross-check to the throat, and Herb is on the bench just giving number 3 for the Czechs everything he could get him. Do you think the guy understood him?
Oh, the Czech player?
Yeah.
Well, he should have, sure as hell should have, because it was pretty vocal. But it sent a great message to the team. He's got our back. He's there for us. He supports us. He's with us. And it was just a great, indication of how much he cared about his players. Plus, Mark was our best player. Without Mark, we don't win.
Yeah. And was his nickname really Magic?
Yeah, we called him Magic.
Yeah. He was a goal scorer now. He could get in the right position, couldn't he?
Was he ever? And he's the most winningest women's college hockey coach ever. He's the head coach at the University of Wisconsin. I think they've won 4 or 5 national championships under his direction. So he's been pretty successful as a coach as well.
Good deal. And there's a lot of guys that are on your team that probably, if they wanted to go into that field, you'd have made a great coach, I think.
I still coach. I coach I'm a volunteer coach at my high school team. I've been doing that for 45 years.
Nice.
We won a state championship last year for the kids. It was fun. And I was 2 years an assistant coach at Boston University.
Awesome, man. Was that right after the Olympics?
It was a few years after the Olympics. I was still doing broadcasting and stuff, and when I stopped broadcasting, I work at Boston University. I've been there 31 years. So while I was there, 2 years, I was in those days you have a volunteer assistant, So I was kind of the volunteer assistant under Jack Parker. So it was fun for me to be around that team. And actually, one year we won the national championship one year when I was the assistant coach, and we've had some great players play there. Matter of fact, we have 6 players. We have 5 players playing for this year's U.S. Olympic team that played at Boston University, and we have a kid named Macklin Celebrini. If anybody follows the NHL, he's playing for Canada. He's only 19 years old. He's the next superstar, and he played the year at Boston University.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 6 BU kids playing in the Olympic Games.
Well, now are you going over? I mean, it's in Italy, man. You know, that's a chance to go.
Oh yeah, I'm going. I'm going over. I'm going over the 18th. I land on the 19th in time for the women's gold medal game, and then I'll be there to the 22nd, which is the men's gold medal game, and expecting our U.S. team to be in that game, and expecting our women's team to be in the gold medal game as well. So it'll be fun to be there and watch us hopefully bring home 2 gold medals.
And that's awesome. You're headed over there. The U.S. team has a good shot at it this year.
This is the best U.S. team we've ever put on the ice. We're deep. We're talented. We've got great goaltending. If anybody watched the Four Nations tournament, it was a great tournament.
It was.
We ended up losing. Binnington, the goalie for Canada, was spectacular. But Canada's loaded. They got arguably the best player in the world in Connor McDavid. And, they got Nathan McKinnon, who plays for Colorado, who's awfully good. And Cale Makar, probably the best defenseman in the National Hockey League. Canada, and they got Sidney Crosby. I mean, Canada's loaded as well. The Soviets aren't going to be there, so that takes one talented team out of the equation. But Sweden and Finland are always challenging and always difficult. And European countries now they're far better than they were years ago. So don't be surprised if a country like Switzerland or the Czechia can give you a problem too. But I expect the U.S.-Canada final, and it's going to be a great hockey game.
So going in, would you say the ranking probably in most people's minds is Canada 1, U.S. 2?
I would say Canada would be 1A and we're 1B.
Okay.
Right. I'm giving them a little nod because they won the Four Nations tournament, but probably with our goaltending, we might be a slight favorite because of our goaltending. But Canada did win the Four Nations, so I think you got to give them the plus in that side.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's an Olympic preview right there from one of the guys that knows more than anything, Mike Eruzione, the team captain for Team USA. Just to reintroduce you to everybody that may have joined us late, team captain in 1980, the Miracle on Ice. We're going to start talking about some of those games coming up here in that too. Appreciate you doing that Olympic preview for us. Talking about the Four Nation tournament, was that not a brilliant thing by the NHL? Instead of having a boring All-Star game where you got a lot of goals and half efforts like the Pro Bowl in football, they had that tournament last year, and that was awesome, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable. They can't do it every year because it's too intense. Maybe if they add a few more countries, it might be better. But if you saw the U.S.-Canada game, 30 seconds into the game, the Kachuk brothers dropped their gloves, and they were at center ice, just fighting with guys that they play against during the year, and some of their teammates are on the Canadian team. So, as Sidney Crosby said, when you put the jersey on and you have the crest in front, it's a whole different tournament.
Yep.
Look, I've said this for years. Other than being a police officer, a firefighter, or somebody in the military who protects our country, there's no greater feeling than putting a USA jersey on. You're not playing for Boston or Chicago. You're playing for your country. And whether it's a tournament like the Four Nations or an Olympic Games or World Championships, it's a whole different thing. You're not playing for a Super Bowl where we have one coming up and everybody in New England's excited and people in Seattle are excited, but people in Carolina or maybe Florida, they don't care. Their team's not in the game. So the Olympics are different, and I think we see that, and we saw that in the Four Nations. You play for your country. It's a different mindset.
Yep, and one of the Herb quotes was, when you put that jersey on, the name on the front means a whole hell of a lot more than the name on the back, correct?
100% right.
Yep.
Hey, now, Mike, I got a question for you. How do you like having the professional players in the Olympics versus the amateurs back when you were in the 80s?
Well, when we were in the 80s, the only amateurs were the United States and Canada. the Soviets, the Swedes, the Finns, and all those undercountries had their professional players playing. So when they opened it up to pros, the first thing I thought of, would these guys compete against each other? Would they battle each other because they're teammates? You know, Sidney Crosby's playing for the Penguins, and Brooks Orpik is playing for the USA, and when the Olympics are over, they're going to be teammates. So are they going to hit each other? Are they going to challenge each other? Excuse me. And I saw absolutely 100% that they were going to do that. And when I saw that, I went, you know what? Let the best players in the world play. It's a whole different. You know, it's not like basketball where, I mean, even though other countries are getting better, I mean, we pretty much dominate in basketball, and our pros are competing against the other countries' pros. In hockey, European countries are better than they ever were before. So it's not, you know, an automatic U.S. win or an automatic Canada win. And I think when you see that in ice hockey, you see how good Finland and Sweden are, and Czechoslovakia, and obviously the Soviets if they're playing. The competition is incredible. The skill level is amazing. And I think people want to see that.
Oh, yes, definitely makes it more competitive and more interesting to watch. Now, we're going to jump in.
The Olympics are different now than they ever were. I mean, in track and field athletes, they're all professionals. They're not amateurs.
Now, what happens if one of these professional athletes get hurt in the Olympics and they can't play their NHL season?
Yeah, that can happen. And you know, the other side of the coin is what happens if a kid a U.S. hockey player gets hurt and he can't play in the Olympics that he's wanted to do. So you know, it's the chance you take. But I know for a fact if you ask any NHL player, would they want to be in the Olympic Games? Every one of them will say yes. And if you get hurt, hey, that's sports. That's just the way it is. Maybe the owners don't feel that way of the team, but clearly the players feel if they get a chance to play in the Olympic Games, absolutely they want to. And I know that for a fact because I've talked to many of the U.S. players that are playing. It's a dream to play in the Olympic Games for these guys.
I can only imagine there's no better feeling than playing for your country. And you guys weren't just sports icons. You guys were national heroes with what you did. Coming into the game, the mood in the country, our hostages in Iran, coming off 4 of the worst years economics-wise, economy-wise, you know, the gas crisis, all the bad things going on in the country. And you guys gave America something to bond together with.
Well, you know, we didn't know that at the time. We were in Lake Placid. We were in a little village, a little community playing. You know, remember that back then there was no Facebook or Twitter or social media.
Thank God.
There were only 3 TV stations. So, you know, we didn't know it was that big a deal till we got out into the country after we won. President Carter brought us to the White House. And when we landed in Washington, the streets were lined with people 4 or 5 rows deep, waving flags, singing God Bless America, singing the Star-Spangled Banner. It was, as you said, it was a time in our country where we were looking for something to feel good about. And I said the other day we could use a 1980 now. You know, we live in the greatest country in the world. And I think people at that time were just looking for something to realize how special it is and how great it is where we live. And they saw it through us. They saw it through a hockey team that I think, you know, and I've realized this over the years many times, we were the typical American kid. We were hardworking. If you saw the background of my teammates, we all came from working class families and understood, you know, how special it is to live in this country. My dad was a Marine, so we understood that. We realized how special it is, and I said this before, putting a USA jersey on is an amazing feeling, and I think people felt that, saw that in us, and it was special. And even, you know, it's 40-something years later, and I get it and I understand. But people will come up to me today, depending on how old they are. I remember where I was when Kennedy was assassinated. I remember where I was when the Challenger blew up. I remember where I was on 9/11, and I remember where I was when we won. And I always go, we. I didn't know you were on the team, but it was a sporting event that people felt a part of because we represented our country.
And with the Cold War going on, that was a big part of it. The Soviet game, the semifinal game, you guys rolled through pool play after the tie with Sweden. You guys rolled the rest of the way. But going into the semifinals against the Soviets, a lot of people don't even know that game happened at 5 o'clock on a Friday night, and we didn't get to see it until 8 or 8:30 because of the primetime tape delayed.
It was tape delayed. You wouldn't see that today.
Oh no, like you said, with Facebook and all that crap, we would know instantly, and we wouldn't even be able to enjoy the game.
Right, and we talk about the Soviet game all the time, but if we don't beat Finland, you and I, we're not having this conversation today.
Oh, we're going to get to that because there's a famous quote that Herb told you guys. The only time you ever heard him use the the mother of all dirty words, from Christmas Story, the F -- word. We'll talk about that in a minute, but in the Soviet game, there's a couple of goals I want to talk about. First of all, just like, a lot of the other games, you guys fall behind, that Soviets score first. You guys scored to make it 1-1, the equalizer, correct? Was that Johnson that scored that goal?
Bucky Schneider scored to tie it up 1-1.
And then who was the one that scored to make it 2-2 at the end of the first period?
Mark Johnson scored with 1 second left on the clock.
So it was Johnson that scored that goal. Tell us about what you were doing in that last 8 or 10 seconds of that period there.
I was on the ice at the time, and the Davy Christian had the puck with about 5 seconds left to go in the period, and I looked up at the clock. Maybe it was like 6 seconds, and I saw Davy shoot the puck at the Soviet goal, and I looked up at the clock, and I was starting to skate off the ice, and all of a sudden I saw magic. I saw Mark just fly by me, and I'm thinking, where's he going? The period's going to end. And he goes, gets the rebound, and knocks it in with 1 second left to go on the clock. I mean, that was Mark. He didn't quit playing till the buzzer sounded. And in the position I was in, there's no way I was going to be able to get to the puck. I was too far away. But Magic, saw it, went for it, scored it, and it was huge. It was a huge goal. We didn't play bad in the first period, but we got a 2-2 tie out of it. And again, the atmosphere in the locker room was incredible. Hey guys, we're in the game now. Now there's only 2 periods to play.
Oh, I can imagine the roof was about to come off the place when he tied it right before the period ended.
Yeah, it was pretty loud in the building, but and again, I tell people this all the time. When you're on the ice, you didn't hear a sound. You didn't hear anything. You heard a teammate, calling for a pass, or you heard Herb yelling for a line change. You never heard the crowd. And when you're on the bench, you might hear a little of it, but you're so focused on watching the game. I'm watching to see if my line's up next. I'm watching to see if the left wing's coming off the ice, and I got to jump over the board. So you're so focused on what you're doing that it's hard to hear the crowd. Although Al Michaels talked about it many times, how the booth that he was announcing the game in was shaking.
Oh yeah, and they were up high. They were like in a crow's nest up there.
Yeah, and it was so loud. He kept saying. So I know the fans had a good time. That's when we first started the USA chants.
Yeah,
we're in that building. Started, I think, in the Sweden game.
Now you talk about the tie. Right before the first intermission, you come out to start the second period, and there's a new goalie. One of my favorite Russian names of all time, just to say it, Vladislav Tretiak, the greatest goalie probably in the world at that time. Wouldn't you agree? Or considered the number 1 goalie at the time?
Yeah, he was considered the best goalie in the world. And it was, as I always tell people, you took out Tretiak, who let in 2 goals in the first period, uncharacteristic 2 goals. Maybe he was having a bad game. Who knows? We've seen great players have bad nights. We've seen Tom Brady throw an interception or 2. We've seen Michael Jordan have a bad shooting night. Maybe he was was struggling fighting the puck. We didn't know and we didn't care. It didn't matter who their goalie was. As a matter of fact, Michigan, who they put in, he was the goalie that shut out the NHL All-Stars by a score of 6-0.
Oh yeah, and that was right before the tournament. They're coming off beating the crap out of the NHL All-Stars.
Yeah,
and that was
not like this guy.
Yeah,
it's not like he sucked. I mean, he was pretty good.
Oh no,
but we were never concerned about other teams. I can't tell you how many times during the Olympics that Herb said, "Play your game, play your game."
Oh, you see it all the time on the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, let other teams worry about us. So whoever their goalie is, that's their problem, not ours. We still got to play our game.
Well, let me ask you this: if that goal to end the first period, if it doesn't rebound off Tretiak and Johnson doesn't put it in the net with 1 second to go, Tretiak probably would have come back out for the second period. Don't you agree?
Yeah, probably. So, again, who cares? We still got to play against the team that they put on the ice.
And then we get on through the second period. You guys fall behind 3-2. let's get to the fourth period, the meat and the potatoes of the whole Olympics. Obviously, the Finland gold medal game was the biggest moment, but that third period is just didn't Johnson score another goal to equalize it at 3?
Mark scored, I think 11 minutes or 12 minutes left in the game to tie it at 3. And then I scored with 10 minutes left to go to put us ahead 4-3.
And what was your mindset at that time? Obviously, you throw a lot of goals, or pucks on goal during a game, and you may not think it's going to go in or whatever. You're coming down the slot, the high slot there on the right side. You get that little bit of a screen from one of your players. Who was the player that was screening for you?
Oh, it was actually the Soviet defenseman.
Oh, it was a Soviet defenseman.
Yeah, the Soviet defenseman, I forget his name right now, but he was in front of me, and, it's amazing how many things you can think about in a split second or two, but if he stayed, I was going to use him as a screen. If he came at me, I was going to pass it by him. Billy Baker and Davey Christian, John Harrington was on my left. They were going to the net. He stayed. I shot. It went in, and we got the lead.
And the way you did it was a wrist shot, coming down the slot there or just to the right of the slot. And it gets by the screen and goes in under his pad on the left side, right? Under his block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or his glove pad. So the way you positioned on that shot, you had 1 foot forward. Did it give you a little more juice on the shot?
No, actually, I shot off the wrong foot.
That's what I mean. But that didn't give you a little extra momentum on that?
No, not really. I tell people all the time, you got to shoot when you're ready to shoot. You can't say, let me wait a minute and set my feet. It's like a quarterback throwing a pass. Sometimes you throw a pass and you're not in the best position, but you see an opening and you got to release the ball. And it's the same thing with shooting the puck. If there's an opening and you got the puck on your stick, you can't wait. You got to shoot it regardless of what position you're in. So and I got all of it. When I saw the highlights later, I pretty much got as much speed on it as I could in that situation. So, again, like I said, I don't think about, let me wait a minute to set my foot, because then that opening's not going to be there.
Well, I remember you saying in one of the specials that you had, the wrong foot forward, but like you said, you got so much whip on that wrister, it's just perfect shot. The place goes nuts after that. There's a huge eruption in the Olympic Center, and that's so ironic. Tell people why the Eruzione scoring and the eruption of the crowd is so ironic.
Well, because my name in Italian means eruption.
Right, exactly. Eruzione in Italian means eruption. That's just you can't write out stuff like that. You can't script stuff like that. That's just awesome.
Well,
saw
honest,
that on one of the specials too. So you got 10 minutes to go in the game. You guys are up 4-3. Was that the longest 10 minutes in a hockey game you ever remember?
Yeah, it pretty much was. You'd be on the bench and it looks like the clock never moved. So it was a long 10 minutes. But in the last 10 minutes, and again, like I told you, I haven't seen the game, but one of my teammates was telling me that they saw it recently, and this was maybe last year. The Soviets only had 5 shots on goal, maybe 6 shots on goal in the last 10 minutes. We totally controlled the game.
Oh yeah, great defense. Getting the puck, chipping it out, not letting them get to you. The shot on goal totals for the game, 39-10, and I think that may have been adjusted a little to like 15 or 16 for you guys. If you were told before the Olympics that you made the semifinals and got outshot 39-10, would you have thought you'd have won that game?
Well, no, because obviously not. But I think the shots, they ended up 35-16 or 35-14.
Yeah, I think they adjusted it later when they looked at the film.
It was the second period where they totally dominated. We took some penalties in the second period. That was the period that Jimmy really kept us in the game. But then in the third period, I thought we took over again. So, we've seen it in sporting events many times. Where one team maybe dominates another, but certain things happen that keeps the game, close, and all of a sudden you find a way to win at the end.
And then you got Jim Craig, as you alluded to, in goal, just playing out of his mind. Obviously, if there's 39 shots and they scored 3 goals, even my meager math skills will tell me he made 36 saves on the night.
Well, when you win, you need good goaltending.
Yeah. It was just a great effort in goal and on defense. It wasn't just all Jim Craig. You guys played some great defense in that fourth period, especially, or third period, especially.
Yeah, we were pretty solid. We played 4 lines. everybody was out there. Everybody contributed. And I think when you see teams win championships, it's everybody does a little something that enables it to happen.
Well, one way you can look at it too, if there was 16 shots on goal, you guys had 4 goals. 25% scoring percentage is not bad, is it?
No, it's pretty good.
That's a high number. Now, after the game, of course, the Al Michaels iconic last 5 seconds, do you believe in miracles? Even his intro to the game, that is things that people can just about recite. I'm talking about how the game is superfluous. It's more than a hockey game. It meant so much. You guys were not wrapped up in that as much at that point, but to the country, it was just that iconic call that he made. Do you still hear that in your head? Where you've heard. You obviously didn't hear it during the game, but you've heard it since then.
Well, yeah, I play golf with Al every once in a while, and somebody will always yell out, "Do you believe in miracles?" And we just kind of look at each other and laugh. It was a great call by Al. I think that's why he's probably one of the best ever to do games.
Definitely one of the best.
Now, I noticed in the special, the Netflix special, when you guys are sitting there, or it may have been the special, the 40th anniversary special back in 2020, when they made that call, all you guys that were there, I think it was that special, you, Jim Craig, Mark Johnson were all there. You all kind of got a little, I don't know, you looked a little misty when he's making that call. Does that ever bring that to you when you hear that call?
Yeah, I think the joy of victory, winning. And I thought Al captured it, but I thought he captured everything at the end when we won the gold medal, when he said, "This impossible dream comes true."
Yeah.
I think that line got kind of lost in the "Do you believe in miracles" line.
Yeah, and like we've talked about before, a lot of people believe that was the gold medal game against the Soviets. But let's jet forward to Sunday now. That was on a Friday night. Sunday, you guys play Finland for the gold medal.
And that was our goal: get to the medal round, get to the gold medal game. And now you're in.
And walk
you're
us
in a
through
position to win it.
Walk us through the dynamics of that game. Fall behind 2-0?
Yeah, we felt we played. We dominated the whole game. It was almost the opposite for us of the Soviet game. Finland had hardly any shots on goal, and we were losing 2-1 going into the third period, and come out and I think the best 20 minutes of hockey we played all year was the final 20 minutes against Finland, and we scored 3 goals and won 4-2 and won the whole thing.
And did Herb really come out at the end of the second period and tell you would take it to your grave? Was that a true quote?
That was, when we talked as a team, I thought it was after the second period, but most of my teammates said it was before the game.
Oh, was it?
When he said, if you lose it, you'll take it to your bleeping grave. Then he stopped and he pointed his finger and he said, if you lose this, you'll take it to your bleeping grave. And Herb never used the F word. The only time I ever heard him say it.
And turned and walked out.
Hey, Mike, where's your gold medal at?
It's in a safety deposit in the bank. I'm in the process of deciding when I'm going to sell it. Quite a few years ago, about 10 years ago, I sold all my memorabilia stuff. The only thing I have left is the stick from the Finland game, my skates, and the gold medal, and the couple of rings that we got. I sold all my jerseys. I sold my pants, my shoulder pad. I got $1.7 million for everything at an auction. And I took the money and I endowed a scholarship in my mother and father's name at Boston University. I had my own charitable foundation, and I put money into my foundation. And then my 3 kids took the money, and all 3 bought houses with it. So financially, things are fine. I'm not an athlete that has no money. But the next step is to make a decision on the gold medal. I have 8, soon to be 8 grandkids, and this will be a great opportunity for me to secure their education or things that they might need or want. I mean, the medal's it's special, but it's in the bank because I can't take it anywhere. And
you don't want to risk somebody breaking in and stealing it or something like that either.
Yeah, I don't want it. And I don't, like I said, my grandkids take it to show and tell sometimes at school. But
that'd be cool.
It just sits in the bank, and I think the medal, it means a lot, but it doesn't mean more than the future of my grandkids.
Oh, no doubt.
Well, you can't see this, but Chris brought one of your jerseys to the show.
Yeah, my son gave it to me for Christmas a few years back. It's the last few years it's shrunk up just a little on me. I don't know why, because I don't wash it. But Somehow it shrunk up on me, so I keep it in my man cave on display.
It's got nothing to do with you getting a little bigger.
That's it, man. There's an old expression that says it's not the dryer. The dryer is not the appliance in your house that makes your clothes smaller. It's the refrigerator.
Hey, how did you get number 21? Did they just assign you that number, or did you have a choice?
No, I wore 21 in every sport I played other than football. I couldn't wear it in football because I was a quarterback and a wide receiver, but I think I could have worn it as a wide receiver, but quarterbacks had to have certain numbers. But I wore it playing baseball, and I wore it playing hockey. Stan Mikita, who used to play for the Blackhawks, was somebody I admired as a kid, although I never watched him play. I listened to him on the radio. We didn't have a TV in my house till I was 12, and there was no NHL hockey games. And for some reason, I liked Stan Mikita, and he wore 21, and I wore 21.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, growing up in Boston, I'm assuming you were, or in Massachusetts, I'm assuming you were a big Bruins fan. Still are.
Yeah, well, I'm a big sports fan. I mean, like I said, they didn't have a lot of games on television then, so you couldn't really watch anything. Yeah. You'd read in the newspapers or listen on the radio. I was a big Celtics fan, when Bill Russell and was playing in those years, and they won championship after championship.
Yeah.
The Bruins didn't win a lot when I was a kid. Then Bobby Orr came along, and I was in high school at that time, and the Bruins started winning. But, I followed the Patriots. Obviously, my dad was a diehard, huge Red Sox fan. I mean, the radio was constantly playing at home, listening to Red Sox games with, and as a kid, Ted Williams, and then later on with Carl Yastrzemski when they won the World Series. So, and then obviously the Patriots run with Brady. It's hard not to get excited about that, and now excited about what I think is going to be another wave of success with the Patriots. I think Drake May is spectacular, and I think Mike Vrabel is a great football coach. So we're excited about what the future holds for the Patriots. So yeah, you live in Boston, you got to be a sports fan.
Oh yeah, and Vrabel is a heck of a linebacker too up there for you guys.
Yeah.
And then Drake May, of course, is from down here in North Carolina, from Charlotte, and played at Carolina. And we would love to have, instead of mortgaging our future with the Panthers for Bryce Young, I wish we'd have waited one more year and got Drake May, but then you guys wouldn't have him. So
I met Drake May at a restaurant in Boston early in the year, and he came over and we took a picture with him, and Jack O'Callahan, one of my teammates, happened to be with me. And I guess Drake was taking his offensive lineman out for dinner at this Italian restaurant, and we took a picture with him. He looked like he was 12 years old.
Still does, yeah.
But he was very nice, and obviously I think we've got hopefully a good future with him. But, sports is sports. You never know what's going to happen.
That's true.
Hey, Mike, I heard that you're a pretty good golfer. Is that true?
I used to be. I didn't play golf as a kid. I took it up right after the Olympics. The last thing I could have said to my dad is, I'm going golfing. Really? I don't think that's happening. But there's a 9-hole course. Almost when I look out my backyard, I can kind of see it. I used to caddy at as a kid. And after the Olympics, the 9-hole course gave me a golf membership and a set of clubs. So I took up golf, and I got pretty good. The lowest I was a 3, and I had that through my 30s and 40s, and now at 70, I move up a set of tees. And still can play a little. I think my index is like 10 or 10.0 or 10.2.
That's still mighty good.
I can play a little. I just don't hit it as far, and I don't give a shit anymore. If I play well, I play well. I'm a good scramble partner because I can still putt a little and I can still hit some good shots. I just don't hit the ball far enough anymore. So my buddies and I, we move up and we have some fun. I get to still play in a lot of celebrity tournaments, a lot of charity events. I know. Dan Jansen in Charlotte, BJ has a great golf tournament every year at the Trump in Charlotte, and I'm a member at Trump National in Jupiter. So I go down. I own a 4-bedroom home, 35 days a year. So I go down a week at a time and get to play down there a little in the wintertime. So I love to play. It's fun, and that's my recreation. I don't play hockey anymore. I don't play pickleball. I told my friends who play pickleball I'm too young for pickleball.
Or shuffleboard.
Yeah,
no shuffleboard.
The only people who like pickleball are orthopedic surgeons because everybody's getting hurt playing it.
Oh, I can imagine the ankles are tough on it. Now, when you first started
I love to play golf, and that's my hobby.
Well, that's of course how we came to have this show. You played in a tournament down here, I think, for the Wounded Warriors. You were paired with Jeff Clark from Marine Federal, and you and Jeff, were in the same cart, and he got your number. And he made the mistake of telling me that one day, and I reached out to him to get with you Tuesday, and all that happened, and we got this show lined up, and we really appreciate you coming. Of course, Mike Eruzione, the team captain for Team USA in 1980, we appreciate you doing that.
Oh, thank you. I got to run a little because I've got a 10:30 interview with the radio station in Chicago.
Okay. One more quick question, though, before you go. When you first started playing golf, did you drop your right hand down lower on the shaft?
I never even thought about that because I played hockey left-handed and I played golf right-handed, which is...
Okay, so left-handed. Okay, yeah.
But what you should do, if you're right-handed, you should play hockey left-handed because your dominant hand should be on top of the stick. So as a golfer, it was natural to play right-handed. In baseball, I hit from both sides, but in hockey, I shot left-handed. If I handed you a hockey stick and you grabbed it with your right hand, then you should be a left-handed shot because your right hand would be on top of the stick.
And as you say that, I remember the wrist shot against the Soviets. I remember you being left-handed. That's true.
You don't have a putter like Happy Gilmore, do you?
No, but sometimes I feel like Happy Gilmore out there.
Well, if you ever wanted one, I'm sure Odyssey would make one for you. in red, white, and blue colors. We're gonna let you go. I know you got a busy schedule. We really appreciate you doing the show. I'll send you some links afterwards on how you can watch it or listen to it later if you want to.
You got it, guys. Thank you very much.
Man.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
Everybody
Mike.
stay safe.
Go USA. All right, we're going to take a break. It's been a long segment. We'll be right back on Sports Talk. I did. Mike Eruzione, team captain for Team USA. We had just reintroduced him. Of course, great interview. Great talking with him on that subject, the Olympics and everything. And we'll be right back on Sports Talk.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville. Freedom 97.1, WSME.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only carpet protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech, luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home. That's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsviewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2024 in the flooring covering and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering. They're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering. Family owned and operated since 1997. With locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering. You stand on it, we stand behind it.
Nothing down, nothing hidden. Now at National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Lease a new Ram 1500 Crew Cab 4x4 or Jeep Grand Cherokee 4x4, just $621 a month with nothing down. Includes all taxes and fees and no fine print. Nothing down, no surprise fees. No trickery. Only $621 a month on a Ram 1500 or new Grand Cherokee 4-wheel drive. Choose from hundreds of new Jeeps and Ram trucks right here, right now at National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Don't miss your chance to get a new 2026 Ram 1500 Crew Cab 4x4 or new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4. Lease for only $621 a month with zero down. All taxes and fees included during the President's Day sales event with approved credit on a 36-month lease and 10,000 miles a year. And yes, zero down.
Visit National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Highway 17 in Jacksonville.
It's a national thing. Go National!
Stay cozy whatever you're doing this winter. Down East can help. From maintaining your current heating system to installing a variable speed Bryant Evolution system with Perfect Heat Plus and Perfect Humidity Plus technologies, Down East can help keep your home warm and inviting all winter long. To schedule an appointment, contact Down East at downeastheating.com or at 910-346-4311. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want it painted, maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit SouthernTouchPaintingNC.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
Are you in a rental home? If so, just call Fountain Management at 910-455-1609. Are you in need of a new property manager for your rentals? If so, call Fountain Management at 910-455-1609. Or just stop by our office located at 255 Williamsburg Parkway and ask for Lisa Thornton or Sandra Fountain. They will be more than happy to assist you. Lisa or Sandra can share all available properties that would meet your needs or a property management package that would meet your needs. Give us a call today. Fountain Management, 910-455-1609.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local carrier indoor weather team, has proudly served the heating and cooling needs of our community since 1967. Now, we've expanded our expert services to include professional residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning, as well as full-service residential and commercial plumbing. Make sure your home or business stays powered through any storm with a Generac generator. We have units in stock and ready to install today. Cleaner air means better breathing. Let us improve your indoor air quality with our professional air duct cleaning services. And remember, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergencies. Turn to the carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with convenient locations in Jacksonville and Hampstead. Visit us online at humphreyheating.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
If you're looking to purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV without the high pressure, Onslow County Motor Company, 1639 Lejeune Boulevard, may be the dealership for you. At Onslow County Motor Company, they want to help you buy a car, truck, or SUV, not just sell you one. Buying a car, truck, or SUV should be enjoyable, and the folks at Onslow County Motor Company will do their best to make your car buying experience fun and relaxed. Check out their inventory online at ocmc.us or visit them at 1639 Lejeune Boulevard. All vehicles are hand-selected, and a standard warranty comes with most vehicles with extended warranties available, and Carfax is free. Stop by and visit Ben, Brandon, Travis, Terry, or Dave. They will gladly answer all your questions about a particular model. Financing? OCMC will finance most anybody. Great selection. Great people. Onslow County Motor Company, 1639 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, where customers send their friends. Call today, 910-355-7066.
When it comes to protecting your home, experience matters. PRQ Exteriors is a top-rated roofing company serving Jacksonville and Onslow County, known for expert roof inspections and quality roof replacement. We specialize in storm recovery, insurance claims, and hassle-free roofing solutions, helping make a stressful situation simple and straightforward. Located at 1911 Gum Branch Road in Jacksonville, you can call 910-469-1674 to schedule your inspection today. That's 910-469-1674. PRQ Exteriors. Roofing done right here at home.
In this fast-paced world, common sense is still important. When it comes to marketing insurance in any form, companies take advantage of sound bites, expressly meant to fool you into thinking things are easier than they are. These 1-800-LIFE insurance folks will lead you to believe they have a quicker, faster way of attaining this essential coverage for your family. They don't. Some folks are healthier than others and get approved faster. The process is the same for everybody. That's why you need an agent, especially if it doesn't cost you 1 penny more. At Bartley Insurance Services in Jacksonville, we are there for you from start to finish, locally owned and operated. In this world that is rapidly moving us away from each other, it's important to rely on people you know and trust for your life and health insurance. I am Bill Mercer. Please call my son Drew or me at 910-346-2170. We want to be your agents. Thank you.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Formerly Morgan Family Dentistry, our Jacksonville and Richlands offices are now proud members of the Lane & Associates family. Here, you'll find the perfect blend of the latest dental technology with the personal care and attention you deserve, all to give you an amazing dental experience. We welcome patients of all ages and accept all major insurance plans, including military. For over 40 years, Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving families across North Carolina. And now we're here for you with convenient locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call us today at 877-LANE-DDS or visit us online at lanedds.com. That's Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where beautiful smiles begin.
It's Sports Talk live on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Rainer. It's Hurricane Watch Time, sponsored by Down East Heating and Air Conditioning. Jason Humphrey and the gang. We've had a cold snap. We got another cold snap coming this weekend. It's going to be bitter over the weekend. So if you're having problems with your heating and air, call them and get in line. Hollywood, I know you've had problems. Call them and get in line because I'm sure it's busy right now. If you had some issues and you see something potentially problem, this next week it's supposed to get up in the 60s. That's when you need to call them and get them to come check it. Don't wait till it gets 30 degrees because it's a little late then. Hurricane Watch, they're pretty hot right now too. Last Friday, the 30th, we had our show and we were talking about they were going to play the Washington Capitals Saturday night. They lost that game 4-3, but they did force it to overtime, so they got a point. The Hurricanes have gotten points in the last 10 games. 8 were wins, 2 were overtime losses, which means they got a total out of 20 points in 10 games, a total of 18 points. That's not too shabby, Robert.
No, it's not.
And since that game, they went and beat the Los Angeles Kings Sunday. So they had a game Saturday in Washington. They came back home to Lenovo Center, beat the Kings Sunday 3-2. They beat the Ottawa Senators 4-3 Tuesday night. I got to go to that one. Enjoyed it with my pop. And then they beat the New York Rangers 2-0 in New York, Madison Square Garden last night. And we got a 3-week break from. We'll do an Olympic break instead of the Hurricanes watch because the U.S. hockey team starts playing next Thursday, the 12th. But because of the NHL players playing, we have a 3-week break. Well, about 2.5 for the Olympics, so there won't be NHL hockey until back. The Hurricanes' next game will be February 26th. That is home, so if you get watching the Olympics and get the hockey fever, there's tickets available for that game at home against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who the Hurricanes are tied with in the Eastern Conference. They're the top 2 teams. They're tied going into the break, so it's a big time for the Hurricanes. And they also have a game that Saturday night, the 28th, against the Red Wings. So a couple of home games coming up end of the month, but no hockey for the next 3 weeks for the Hurricanes. Of course, the Team USA will be playing. And once again, I want to thank Mike Eruzione, the team captain of the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, calling in today. Great. I think he would, if he didn't have another commitment, he probably would have talked for another couple of hours. And I'm sure he's told that story 1,000 times or more, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Interviews and stuff, but stuff like that just never gets old, especially to people that haven't actually talked to him before.
Gives me goosebumps thinking about that.
Oh, man. And that call, Al Michaels made, we talked about that. Do you believe in miracles? I kind of get the shivers every time. And I get a little misty. I'll admit it. I'm a man. There's not much in sports that makes me that way. When Rudy runs on the field finally after all the toil and trouble he had at Notre Dame, finally getting to get on the field, I get a little misty there. I can't help it. But that was just a big thing with me growing up, 12 years old, that thing. So looking forward to the Olympics team. According to Mike, the Team USA is probably 1B right now, just behind the Canadians just a little. So hopefully have a chance to win that gold medal this year. All right, we're going to do this day in sports history. Thank you again to Jason Humphrey and Down East Heating and Air for the Hurricanes watch. We'll get back to that and the Olympic watch next Friday. This day in sports history, February 6th, in 1895, Babe Ruth was born in Baltimore, Maryland. He would grow into one of the most influential and recognizable figures in all of sports history. Some people still consider him the GOAT in baseball just because of a different time, but he pitched, obviously hit very well. All right.
1933, the New York Rangers defeat the Montreal Maroons, continuing the early era rivalries that helped define the NHL.
The Maroons, I guess their color was maroon, I assume, why they call them the Maroons. We'll be careful not to call them the morons. All right, Hollywood.
All right, let's see here. 1958, the NBA All-Star Game is played in St. Louis, highlighting the league's growing national profile in the post-war era.
And we talked about what the NHL has done by doing tournaments at the All-Star break. This year's the Olympics instead of having an All-Star game, because All-Star games just aren't where they used to be. There's just no impotence there. In 1967, Wilt Chamberlain becomes the first NBA player to surpass 25,000 career points, redefining what was thought possibly offensive. His 100 points in one game in Hershey, PA, probably never be touched.
1988, the Calgary Flames acquired Doug Gilmour, a move that significantly reshaped the franchise competitive future.
Do you remember where the Calgary Flames started at? Atlanta.
Yeah,
the Atlanta Flames, and after the 1980 gold medal, Jim Craig, the winning goaltender, the guy we had in goal that played so well, he got drafted by the Atlanta Flames. So down here in the South, we didn't have the Hurricanes then. We became Atlanta Flames fans, and you got to see maybe a hockey game once every couple of months on TV down here. It just wasn't around.
Hey, speaking of hockey legends, 1999, Wayne Gretzky, what a name that is, right? Makes one of his final NHL All-Star appearances as his legendary career winds down.
All right, in 2004, the NBA formally tightens its players' dress code, marking a cultural shift in the league's public image.
Hey, in 2011, Super Bowl 45, the Green Bay Packers defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers to capture the NFL championship.
My son will be happy about that. He's a Packers fan. Now, if you're interested and you have teams, like say you're a New England fan, a 49ers fan, or any team, Steelers or Packers that won multiple Super Bowls, or even if they won one, there's a company that puts out now these replica rings, and they are so awesome. They look just like the original rings. Have you seen those, Robert?
I have not.
They probably have them for like the Wolfpack's national championship stuff, and it's cool to have it like as a display, obviously. All right, who had the last one?
I did.
All right,
it's Hollywood.
Okay, 2016 Super Bowl 50 festivities begin in the San Francisco Bay Area, celebrating the NFL's golden anniversary.
You know who was in that game, Hollywood?
Tell me.
Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos.
Yep. You went to
there.
that game.
I was there.
Wow. And you didn't call me to go with you.
I know. I didn't.
We didn't even know each other then.
Was it exciting?
It was
exhilarating?
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I'm sure. I mean, just to be in that environment had to be.
And it's funny when there's a game you care about, like I can tell you a lot about the '80 Olympic hockey team in those games. But that Super Bowl, I can relive in my mind some of the plays. The catch that they ruled, you probably saw it on the Jumbo Vision there, and you've seen it in replays. They said it was not a catch, but it was a catch.
And Cam Newton should
not jumping on the fumble. There's so many little things that just, one play here or there, and the Panthers could be right in it. So,
yep.
All right, the last one here, 2022 Super Bowl. Let's see, what is that? 56. Yeah. Week activities conclude in Los Angeles ahead of the Rams championship run. So the Rams got to play the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
They did.
This year, the Niners were, had they won their last game, I think it was against Seattle, they would have been the number one seed in the NFC. They would have been at home as long as they won the entire thing, even in the Super Bowl, because that's where the Super Bowl was this year. So kind of crazy. Want to give a shout out to Jerry Stevenson at the Redneck Barbecue Lab. They got a new location getting ready to start up. We'll give more details on it later. Jerry each year is really instrumental. He gives us these amazing seats right behind the Hurricanes bench, and me and Ashley and Hollywood went last year, and we're going again this year. He's going to pick us out a game. We're going to try and make it work. And of course, Harry said he wants to go this year. So, Harry Brown being station owner along with Ashley, we're definitely going to make that work. But big shout out to Jerry Stevenson, the Redneck Barbecue Lab. They have the one up you've ate at the lab before.
I have.
Exit 319 on I-40 headed to Raleigh, McGee's Crossroads. They have one in the North Hills area, and now one in Beaufort. And there's actually a Redneck Barbecue Lab if you can get in the lounge area, the club area, there in Lenovo Center too.
Yeah, I've
so
seen it.
is it on the side where you guys have your seats, or is it the other side?
I think it's on the other side.
I think it's on the opposite side where y'all sit. But big shout out to Jerry. He's a pit master. I mean, he can cook some barbecue now, and those burnt ends are amazing. I haven't tried the Beaufort location yet, but it's so much closer, just to go to. But a lot of times when we're going to Raleigh, we'll just swing in there at the lab and eat the good barbecue and stuff there. So thank you to Jerry Stevenson. We were talking about Harry Brown. We're going to get him to a hockey game this year. Did he tell you if he'd ever been to one before? I'm pretty sure he has, I'm sure, over the years.
I think
Being up in Raleigh like he was and everything all the time, I'm sure he's been to one, but we're going to get him right behind the bench again in Jerry's seat. So, that'll work out good. It was announced today that National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Jacksonville is celebrating its 50th anniversary. That'll be on February 13th. This is our little press release. Harry, of course, has been the owner of National Dodge for years. Just a great dealership there, all different kinds of brands. The dealership's inviting
86, I think. If you look there, 1986, I believe.
Was that when it was bought? Oh yeah, hadn't got to that one yet. Actually, 1976 is what it says.
Well, but I think he's been owner since 86.
Since 86, okay.
Yeah.
But they're inviting the community to join a milestone celebration honoring 5 decades of service, relationships, and community involvement. The celebration will take place on Friday, February 13th. That's a good Friday the 13th
Next
thing.
Friday.
And next Friday. Hey, we'll just do that when we leave here. Head over to that, hang out a little bit. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the dealership. Guests can enjoy food from Watch Jay Cooking. They have giveaways. They have cash prizes, the indoor prizes. The milestone marks a legacy that began on February 13, 1976, when legal documents were signed to form National Dodge Incorporated under the founder, Jim Moore, in 1981. Moore appointed Harry Brown as general manager, and Brown acquired the dealership in April, like you said, of 1986, and has helped guide its growth ever since. So National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram 50th anniversary.
Congratulations!
Yeah, that's
right, man.
I bought my first car from Harry Brown.
Did you really?
I think I was 19.
Was he
years
a
old.
salesman then, or was
he
he
was a salesman?
Really?
At Moore Buick.
Wow.
And what was the car? I have to know.
A Buick?
A Mazda GNC. GLC, great little car.
So it wasn't a Buick?
No, it was a used car.
Okay.
Mazda GLC.
I was 19.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I was starting to say at 19, I didn't see you in the big Buick Roadmaster.
No, it's a Mazda.
All right.
All right, but thank you to Harry Brown for all he does for the station, the community there at National Dodge. Just awesome. We're going to thank our sponsors again before we go. Did you have anything to add before we hit our sponsors?
I did not. Go Seahawks.
Go Seahawks. Is that who you're pulling for?
Yep.
You don't want New England to win their 7th?
They've got enough.
They're 6-5, I think, right? So this will be their 12th Super Bowl. Yeah, but it's a whole different
Time for
group.
somebody else to
and
win.
I know you love, the fact that Drake May, a Carolina quarterback.
Well, there's
is the
two
quarterback.
NC State kids that play it for New England.
I think there's some other North Carolina connections on the teams too.
Actually, NC State has 3 players playing in the Super Bowl.
For both teams.
We got the most for the ACC, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at you guys.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to the game tomorrow, the basketball game?
No, I got helping my neighbor move.
We're getting ready for Super Bowl party. Have the family over. What you doing for Super Bowl?
That's my wife's department. I just pay.
You don't do a big party or anything?
No, our family will be there and watch it, and I'm sure we'll do some chicken wings or something else.
Together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always involves a little food at the Super Bowl party. You got big plans for the Super Bowl party, Hollywood?
Well, my sister is coming in, and I got a house full of women, so I'm.
You got a man cave to go to?
Well, my sister, I haven't seen her for several months, and it's just my
I am
sister.
gonna
It's my
turn-
sister. It's my sister, my wife, my daughter, and me. So I'm
Well, I know
whatever
that
they want to do.
I know you're a student of the game, so I know you'll be engrossed.
Oh,
in,
yes.
And all the the 4-3 defense and the West Coast offense and all those terms and stuff.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
And I will change it at halftime. I'm not watching Bad Bunny.
There's a lot of people I think will probably.
Come on,
switch
man,
that.
you're a big
I'm gonna
fan.
watch Kid Rock.
Well, I understand, and I know I'm being an old guy here, but I understand his music, is great to dance to and stuff like that. But if I don't understand the words, I'm probably not going to watch.
He told Americans to learn to speak Spanish. What's up with that?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's just a cultural thing. It's pushing buttons.
They're trying to get new fans, but
different struggles for different folks, man.
But I would encourage them to look at the history of NASCAR when NASCAR tried to get new fans and ended up losing their old fans.
The wine and cheese crowd, as you would say.
They scared off beer and chicken for wine and cheese. Wine and cheese stuck around 3 or 4 years, maybe 10, and then beer and chicken was gone. Beer and chicken got priced out. So NFL's doing pretty darn good like they are. I would make sure you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah, but they think, look, it's a halftime show.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it, and it's gone, it's over, move on. That's the way they look at it, I think. And,
Well,
and it's more money, and it's a cultivation of the next generation. That's the way I think. That's the way they look at it.
Personally, and this is just, I mean, it's more the music I like, but Metallica is a San Francisco band. It's in San Francisco. That would have been a great fit at halftime. Journey's a San Francisco band. That's right.
I'm probably wrong, but anyway.
And who knows? They might come out where they have them on as special guests. A lot of times they have people, guests, performers that you don't even know about till it starts.
Yeah, Jefferson Starship. They're from San Francisco too, I believe.
Yeah. So there's
only
a lot
one
from
member
San
left.
Francisco.
Grace Slick is 84 years old, man.
She doesn't sing with them anymore. When they came, did you go to the Crystal Coast thing last year?
I wish I had them, man.
I wish I had too, but she wasn't singing with them. She doesn't sing with them anymore.
I've seen them.
I've
seen.
They've got a new female singer.
Yeah, I've seen the current members are good.
They say the new female singer sounds just like her, and that's what Journey did.
Does.
Since they don't have Steve Perry anymore, they went out and got a guy that sounds just like him.
Sounds just like him.
Yeah.
You close your eyes, you think it was Steve Perry.
Yeah, as long as they don't put him up on the video board, you don't know it's not Steve Perry. But
Yeah.
that's a mistake. They need to put up logos and stuff so people know it's Journey.
Well, with AI, they could just put Steve Perry's face up there, man.
I don't think he would allow that. Apparently, there was a bad breakup years ago.
Oh yeah.
All right, we want to thank our sponsors before we go. Our newest sponsor is PRQ Exteriors, roofing you can trust.
Hey, Austin, real quick, Austin Wright. I got to say this. You're talking about calls earlier. You talked about somebody that that love to hear a call, right? Like Al Michaels or whatever. So Austin told me he listens to Jacksonville High School football for years, for 10, 12, as long as they've been doing it.
Yeah.
Wherever he goes, he travels, goes to Florida, and he was like, I tell you, there was one time in 2017, this game, Ashley Mosley made this call. And it was the end of, and it was the end of the game, and I'll never forget the call. And he told me exactly what Ashley said, and I'm like, Ashley's the new Al Michaels. That's what I was thinking in my head.
Well, all of a sudden, with our guest today, Mike Eruzione, the captain of the USA Olympic team in 1980, and with that Ronald Reagan voice, I feel like I'm back in the 80s now.
Well, Nancy, it's I'm glad to be president.
Somebody told. Well, I'm not going to say that because that'll pickle my Jackson fans.
We digress. Go
We
ahead.
digress. Okay. They're located at back to PRQ Exteriors. They're located at 1911 Gum Ranch Road here in Jacksonville, or you can call 910-469-1674 to schedule your inspection today of your roof or your exteriors. That's 910-469-1674. PRQ Exteriors, roofing done right at home. So thank you to them for jumping on as a sponsor. We also have, of course, National Dodge and Chrysler Jeep Ram, Harry Brown, Ryan, Robbie Yates, Chris Hines, and Quentin. Golden Corral, Mr. Billy Sewell and his crew. Fountain Management, Lisa Thornton and Sandra Fountain. Southern Touch Painting, Roger Carroll. All About Floors, one of our newer sponsors too, with Ron Prince. Downey's Heating and Air Conditioning. Express Printing, Myron Cross. Onslow County Motor Company, Ben Beasley. And of course, Downey's Heating and Air, that's Jason Humphrey, of course. Onslow County Motor Company, Ben Beasley. Bartley Insurance Services, Bill Mercer. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning. Jones Onslow EMC. Jones LP Gas there in Verona. And Lane & Associates Family Dentistry. And of course, thank you to Helen's Kitchen and Billy Grissett. Those cheeseburgers and BLT smell good. We're getting ready to jump all over them. And of course, make sure you visit our website, WSME971.com. And all the stuff, Hollywood's done a great job of putting all the social platforms where you can go to the links right off of that website. Correct, Hollywood?
That's correct.
Tell them a little bit about the page and what it has and everything. You know it by heart.
Well, yeah. We just tweaked it a little bit. WSME971.com. So you can find stuff about Chris Rayner there. Rick Dees, the Daily Dees in the morning. All stuff about him is there, and we're just updating it a little bit. We're gonna have a funnel, everything like instead of going everywhere all over the place. You go there, you can click through to our YouTube page, to our Facebook page, and it's just gonna be like the portal. You just go to our brand and then kind of branch out from there. Instead of trying to find everything everywhere else, you go to WSME971.com. And some of the, like today, I'm going to put up the interview today
with Mike Eruzione.
I'm going to try to put that on the front page today, so people can just go to our website. Another option for you. You know what I mean? So.
Well, we've officially had my favorite guest, as you can tell. That was just a big moment in my life growing up. It just meant so much, I think, to our country. People that didn't live through it don't know as much, but there's a whole new generation of kids watching it. I've heard so many people say that, like coaches, if they're going on trips, like road trips, travel teams, things like that, that they plugged that movie in as inspiration, even though it's a hockey movie. It's just the things they did were not expected, you know.
Robert, could you tell he was passionate about this?
It's
yeah,
my
he
passion.
wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise.
I just looked over here at him. He was just sitting there, like, kind of.
Oh yeah, the gold medal thing was really a great question,
Well,
and I had no idea that he would eventually try to, probably sell that. But like you had said before, a lot of sports stars will eventually sell that stuff later on because it's just not needed.
But the questions you did have were great, man.
Thank
They
you.
were there. Yeah.
Do you think the station could pool enough resources to buy the gold medal?
I doubt it, buddy.
Okay, we'll work on that.
If we could get a good price and then like a scalping tickets, right?
Well,
you could get a good price.
determine
and
what a
resell
good
it.
price is. Yeah.
I have to Google that and see if any of these other players had sold their gold medal, what it went for.
That's true.
But he was the captain, and
Yeah, and he's the iconic. There are iconic sports figures, and there's national heroes, and that Olympic team was both.
Yeah.
Jesse Owens, same thing. Iconic sports figure, but what he did in that Berlin Olympics, right in Hitler's face, the whole Nazi party, he's a national hero.
Yeah.
And that's a difference. There's not many sports figures can say that. All right, we're going to get out of here. You guys enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend. We will see you next week on Sports Talk.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do